Welcome back to the CR90 build. Like I said in the previous video, I'll show you guys what I've done to make these engines sit quite well and to screw together. So I've taken all the sections and I've drilled through them with I think it's a 1.8 millimeter from a Dremel set, 1.8 mil. Then the provided tap will be, I'll give you the tap but not the handle. So you get this tap and then you can tap through the parts. Just make sure that before you do your tapping or your screwing, that the section sit flush, the round section sits flush with the mount. Okay, so push it in very tightly. It doesn't have to. If you don't want to use the tap option, you might want to just have it pull in and out, then add extra filler to the part. But I like the idea of the tap. I will provide the screws for the 11 engines. So basically, as you can see, I drilled a hole right there, and then I used a drill bit to make the countersink. So this is the same thickness as the top of the head of the screw. So our intersect, this is in millimeters, 5.91, or I presume a 6 millimeter, and in inches, 0.233 inches, which I have no idea because I work in millimeter. So here we go. So all I did was, once the hole was drilled, I used my hand. I didn't put it in the machine because it'll be too aggressive and go through, and I just turned it manually until I had my countersink. Okay, and yes, as you can see, model building causes injuries. Okay, blade. Okay, so once you have it in and you've done your tap, just screw it in. Simple as that. Okay, and just make it hand tight. It doesn't have to be tight. If you do it too tight, you'll break your thread. Just to hold the section in. If you're tapping and you push too hard, it actually might push right through and it'll destroy the threads. And that's why my magic item to repair that is this. I'm not sure if it's, I think it's an international item or product, Bondic UV glue. So all I do is I just line the inside of the hole with this, and then just retap the hole, and it works wonders. Okay, so that's what I use a UV glue for. It's a very nice item to do that. Here's a middle engine, exactly the same thing. Okay, what I did was I measured from the edge to the inside 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters, and then I drilled my hole. Okay, but you can obviously work out where you want it as long as it catches the inner section. Yeah, this is the central engine, and you can see it's a lot further because it's a longer piece that goes in. This is 4 centimeters. Okay, I'm going to take it apart. It's quite tight, this one. Might not even need a tap. Okay, you can see there's enough. If I went further, it would have missed it, and closer, I wouldn't have. I don't know. I think it's central looks pretty good, but it's up to you where you want to put it. Okay, so this one, I'll show you. Okay, this is actually for a reason apart. Okay, so what I've done on the side engines. They're all mounted as well, and I've glued these caps on. I've glued some of these. They're actually loose on the single engines. I haven't glued this on yet. I'll be doing that next, off camera. So this is your section, and these are glued in. So my plan is, since I want to remove the engines, is to glue all the detail on to the engine section and not glue anything across. So when I take it apart, everything stays on this, on the engine section. Okay. What I'm going to show now is the engine block and what I did over there regarding the central engine and your sequence of adding the engines on. So what you want to do is, on the whole model, is once the whole thing's together. Obviously for space I haven't done that. Is this only goes in one way. slides into the pipe and it doesn't fit this way, turn it around, fits in. Okay, so what I did was, without this section, just with this on its own, I held this, drilled through, and then, okay, now that was with the side engines on. Okay, so with the side engine on and this on, I drilled through this, the engine block, as well as the rear mounting section for the side engines. Okay, so you'll see it's at the back over there. And it's quite a thick piece, which is quite nice. And then I tapped through this and this together. Once you get a bite of here, you can take it apart and then continue your tap on the mount. So the idea is, when you screw this in, that you screw the side engines in at the same time. Okay, so, and then leave the back engine off, so you can actually get into the area to do the screws. So basically, with that in, I've actually marked my, look, everything goes in one way. You cannot actually get it wrong, but for myself, I've marked it right and left. So I know the right hand side is where the big gap is on top, and it slopes down towards the front, and these mounts where it clips in is different on each side. So that goes in flush. Turn it this way around, take your screw, you can actually put your screw into this hole first, do them both. You see, actually, this isn't actually tapped, this one might be slightly. The section you're going through doesn't need to be tapped, as long as your the part you're going into is tapped. So here we go, and I've got a long screwdriver over here so I can screw it in. I'm actually going quite tight because it's a thick piece of plastic. Okay, I've got an extension on this which helps. So that's one. So this is the bottom. As you can see, it doesn't have the little thing sticking up on the intake. Now I'm going to go for the left hand side. Same procedure. Stick it in. It goes flush. And then screw it in. The problem with this model, it's so big, it's actually a bit of a hassle with the camera. I should actually try and get a wide angle lens. Okay, I'm using a DJI pocket camera, so I'm not sure if they use wide angle lenses for these things. I've got a filter set though. Oh, my tip fell off. Okay, so this now, and it's on tight, not going anywhere. Move the camera back slightly. Okay. Oop. Okay, so what you can do now is push your middle engine in. Okay, I actually feel this one isn't tight enough. Okay, push the middle engine in, and it says top on it, so top is the other way around. So top, in, flip it back over again. Screw goes in, holding it in place. Although I don't think this middle one actually needs a tap. It doesn't. It's quite tight. I mean, yours might be different to mine. That's not taking. I'm really pushing it so that the holes line up. It's not going. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, it's not going in, but I really have to push it in. But anyway, I'm not going to screw this one in. It's very tight. Okay, now you just simply add your engines, your single engines. So they go in one way, like I explained. These little ridges are the top. I'm on the bottom at the moment, so I find my two bottom ones. This one only goes in one way, so you cannot put it the wrong side. You push it in until it actually goes into the gap and it fills up the sides. So it has to go in and seat itself in the opening, in this opening area on the printed port. So here's our engine. Oh, here it is. Next to me. Here you go again. Push in. Now, as you will notice on the engine block, there is holes, 4 holes. I do not think it's necessary to drill through into the engine, the single engines, to hold it. But if you don't put this middle engine in, and you can screw into there with a long screwdriver. Okay, but the way I've built it, it's actually not necessary. So here you can see this thing is very sturdy with a couple of screws. And up to this stage on this whole section I've used no glue, which in my opinion is a good thing, because glue can come loose. So there he goes in. And final one. In he goes. Okay, now when you're doing this, once you've got your plant ons on here, be very careful what you're doing, because you might break them because they're printed parts. Okay, so now if I shove the pipe in, the central pipe, get it to go into the, there we go. This, I mean, I can use this as a weapon. It's not going to fall apart. Okay, and both ways. I'm spinning it now on this thing. Okay, very sturdy. Okay, so that's your engine module. Your nozzles just simply slide in. So you don't need glue for them. Okay, if they feel loose, just put a bit of filler on the sides till it grips, and then you can go in, or just choose which one it sits tightly in, and then keep it on that one. Like here, it's tight. It's loose on this one, so I'd rather put it in this one. Okay, so there it is with the nozzle. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to complete gluing these side things on, these side caps, and then on the next video I'm going to show you guys how to put the central section onto the model. Okay, so that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, cheers.